In this video, I will discuss about periodic properties. This one periodic properties. Okay. So first of all, I have to know this one atomic size or atomic radius. So what do you mean by atomic size or atomic radius? Okay. Actually, see in periodic table, left to right, the size of atom decreases. Left to right, size of atom decreases, down the group size increases. Okay, any period you have to go, that means you have to move from left to right, then atomic size decreases, and top to bottom any group you have to choose any group, so top to bottom then atomic size increases. Okay, so first of all you have to know this one is ionic radius. Define ionic radius. So definition, this definition is very important. Definition is atomic radius, the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell of elements. To the outermost shell of the elements. This one is atomic radius. Suppose can I draw here? Okay, one, see, this one is nucleus. Okay, this one is first shell, this one is second shell, and this one is third shell. Okay, see, nucleus to this outermost shell, this one is called what? This one is called atomic radius. Okay, so this one is called atomic radius. Definition is very easy one definition. The distance from the center, the distance from the center of the nucleus, see, of the nucleus, this one of the nucleus, to the outermost shell of electrons, to the outermost shell of electrons. So this one is atomic radius. However, it is difficult to determine the exact radius of the atom because of the following reasons. Okay, so so many reasons is there. Now I'll discuss some reasons. Okay, first reason is what? The size of an atom is very small. The size of the atoms is very small. Okay, this atom is very small, approximately this 1.2 angstrom or 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter in radius. Okay, this one, this is first one. And second number you have to see, according to the probability picture of electrons, an atom does not have well defined boundary. So atoms does not have well defined boundary. Okay, does not have well defined boundary. The probability of finding the electron is never zero. So the probability of finding the electron is never zero at large distances from the nucleus. Large distance, suppose this one is distance. Okay, large distance of the nucleus. So this one second number, according to the probability picture of electrons, an atom does not well defined boundary. Well defined boundary, but the boundary not there actually. Boundary, well defined boundary not there. The probability of finding the electron is never zero. The probability of the finding is never zero even at large distance from the nucleus. This one is 2 number. And 3 number, it is not possible to isolate an atom and measure its radius. So 3 number also. This one is what? It is not possible to isolate an atom and measure its radius. Okay, this one. And third number also, fourth number, size of atom also changes from one bonded state to another bonded. Yes, size also changes. See, if you move left side to right side, this side to this side, then size also decreases. Okay, this one, understood, like this. And this is about atomic radius. Now another one is covalent radius. Okay, covalent radius. This covalent radius means 1/2 of the distance between the nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms of the same element in a molecule. That means 1/2 of the distance between the nucleus of two covalently bonded atoms of the same element. Say now I'll draw one picture about atomic covalent radius. Suppose this one is one atom and this one is another atom. Okay, so this one is nucleus, this one also nucleus, like this. Okay, you can draw one line here, also one line you can draw. Okay, now here to this much, this is covalent radius. This how much? This radius is say 74 pm. Pm is picometer. 74 pm. This one is 74 pm. Okay, after that you can write this one is or this one is called internuclear distance, internuclear distance. Okay, this one is internucleus, this one is nucleus, so internuclear distance. Okay, and this one is called covalent radius. Here to this much, this one is called covalent radius. So this one is called covalent radius. Okay, covalent radius. And how much? This one is 37. Okay, this one 37, this 37 pm. Okay, totally 74 and this one is 37. This here to this much 37 covalent radius. Okay, for homonuclear molecule, so for homonuclear molecule, okay, you can write this one is homonuclear molecule are covalent equal to this one is what? Internuclear distance between two bonded atoms. So internuclear distance between two bonded atoms. Okay, internuclear distance between two bonded atoms divided by 2, like this. Okay, this one. Suppose atomic radius of hydrogen. Okay, then this one is H2 hydrogen. How to find out? Then this one for hydrogen. Then R covalent equal to internuclear distance between two bonded, then 74 divided by 2, then 37, the 37 pm. So like this you can find out that covalent radius. Like this you can find out covalent radius. Next, another one, van der Waals radius. 1/2 of the internuclear distance between the nuclei of two adjacent atoms. Now, two adjacent atoms of the substance belonging to two neighboring molecules in the solid state. Now, how to draw this one? Okay, like this I can draw here. Suppose here one atom, here also one atom. Okay, this one is nucleus, this one also nucleus. Here another atom. Okay, this one nucleus, this one also nucleus. Okay. So actually this one is what? This one is covalent radius, only here to this much. This one is what? Covalent radius. This one is called covalent radius. covalent radius. This one is called covalent radius. It's 99 pm picometer. Yeah. Now here too you can draw here one line, here also one line. Okay, this one is internuclear distance. Okay, here to this much, here to this much. This one is called internuclear distance. Internuclear distance. Okay, internuclear distance. This one is how much distance? 360 pm. Okay, 360 pm here. And you can draw here this one line you can draw. Okay, this one. Now here this one is half. So here to this much, this one is called van der Waals. Van der Waals radius. So here to this much, this half one, this one is called van der Waals radius. Total is internuclear distance and neighboring molecules. Okay, this one, two neighboring molecules, and this one is covalent radius. Okay, this is covalent radius. So now again have to see this definition. What is van der Waals? One half of the internuclear distance between the nuclei. See, two nuclei, between the nuclei of two adjacent atoms. Here two adjacent atoms, this one and this one is two adjacent atoms of the substance belonging to two neighboring molecules in the solid state. Okay, so this one is van der Waals radius. Okay, this part also van der Waals. Understood? So like this you can draw this picture. Okay, now for example, the internuclear distance between adjacent chlorine atom. Suppose chlorine atom, this one is chlorine atom, Cl2, and this one also chlorine atom. So internuclear distance, in the internuclear distance between adjacent chlorine atoms in the solid state is how much? 360. Okay, internuclear distance. Understood? Now how to write? On radius of chlorine, this is formula. Okay, radius of chlorine equal to this internuclear distance. This internuclear distance how much? Internuclear distance 360 divided by 2. And you can cut, then 180 like this pm. Okay, or you can do this, pm is there now, then you can write this one pm, 1 pm equal to that one pm convert to angstrom, so you can write 1.80 angstrom like this. Okay, so this one is van der Waals radius. Okay, now van der Waals radius finish, and covalent radius, this one also finish. Next, this first one is atomic radius, finish. Now another one is ionization enthalpy, very important, this ionization enthalpy. Okay, ionization enthalpy, this another topic, very important topic is ionization enthalpy. Okay, very important, or IP. This definition very easy. It is the energy required when an electron is removed from an isolated gaseous atom. That means isolated gaseous atom is very important. Okay, then isolated gaseous atom needed. Suppose this is sodium Na. Okay, this sodium. This one is isolated gaseous atom. Sodium is gas. Because it's what? Actually, sodium is what? This one is Na, S solid. Now sublimation have to do, then NaG. Okay, then isolated gaseous atom needed. So for sodium atom, this atomic number 11 in according to Bohr model, first, second shell, third shell. In outermost shell only one electron, here a 2. Okay, like this, 1 electron. So this definition is what? It is the energy required when an electron is removed. Now some energy needed for removing this electron, okay, in outer shell, from outer shell, okay. So it is the energy required when an, now definition, this is definition how to write. It is the energy required when an electron is removed from an isolated gaseous atom. Okay, so this one, understood? So this definition is very easy. So like this, Mg to form M plus, okay, G plus electron, like this. This one is called first ionization enthalpy. If again now this one, Mg plus, again you can write Mg2 plus, sorry, M2 plus, M plus G to form M2 plus G plus 2 electron. Okay, like this, or 1 electron, like this. This one first ionization enthalpy, this one second ionization enthalpy. Okay, second ionization enthalpy, this one is 2. Like this, third ionization enthalpy is there. Okay, so some various, that means some factors are there. Okay, the various factors with which ionization energy varies are, okay. So first of all, some factors, okay. So some factors, first factors is 1 number, first factors 1 number, atomic size inversely proportional to what? Ionization enthalpy. Okay, atomic size inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy or ionization potential. 2 number, screening effect, okay, screening effect inversely proportional to IP. Screening effect also inversely proportional to IC. That means if screening effect is maximum, then ionization enthalpy is minimum. Okay, minimum needed. Ionization enthalpy minimum needed. If screening effect is less, then ionization enthalpy maximum. Atomic size is big, then ionization enthalpy only less needed. Okay, this one, that means less energy needed. Next, nuclear charge, 3 number, nuclear charge. The nuclear charge directly proportional to IP. If nuclear charge is maximum, that means nuclear charge, okay, proton charge, if nuclear charge is maximum, then IP also maximum, that means ionization potential or ionization enthalpy also maximum. This maximum needed, high ionization enthalpy also high. Nuclear charge high means ionization enthalpy also high. Okay, this one. So another one is ionization enthalpy values of inert gases are exceptionally high due to stable configuration. Okay, now 4 number is ionization enthalpy values of inert gases are exceptionally higher due to stable configuration. Okay, this one. 5 number, helium has highest ionization enthalpy while cesium has the lowest. Okay, this one. Or another one is if half fill and full fill. Suppose this one is, suppose P half fill, and another this one is P3 and P4. Now compare between this one and this one. So which one is more ionization enthalpy needed? Here or here? Here more ionization enthalpy needed. Why? Because of here this one is what? This is half fill configuration. Half fill configuration and extra stability is there. Okay, but here this is more than half fill. So here less IP or ionization enthalpy is needed. No problem. Only less. Here means more. Ionization enthalpy here high. Okay, like this. So these factors, these 5 factors or 6 factors, these are 6 factors very important for ionization enthalpy. These are finding out. Okay, how to find out. Like this you can find out. Okay, then in next video I will discuss about that screening effect, electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity. Very important for examination point of view. Okay, thank you, and please subscribe my channel.